We downgraded our car for this race and we didn't finish as well as we expected, which is around 4th to 6th place. And we can see someone with not much points were able to finish 10 seconds ahead of us, doing a free pit stop for this race. You can see that he has 11 points for this current season while we have 15 or so. I think we potentially lost some time because the track is normal for overtaking and it suits a 2 pit stop, but 1, 2, 3 would work. Again, the top contender, Alexa, had refused to replace his car parts to try and save money, so he finished very poorly in the race again. A driver made 2 mistakes again, and it wasn't during overtaking. And you can see while it's normal for overtaking, only about 30% of our overtaking attempts has succeeded. We also unlocked the achievement for having the fastest lap in Ammeature group, and for the specific track that we did last race or a few races ago, we're going to reduce the driver weight again. We chose this new sponsor because we already got our last sponsor, and you can see there's a few different managers negotiating, potentially 2, and we have the same progress as them. So we want to upgrade the commercial a bit, maybe spend 1.5 million or so we can guarantee that we're going to get the sponsor. Before any car updates, we are in the middle of the group for our money standings, and we're still about the same for our car performance. If we look at the calculator for the race we had recently done, we can see the car weight was a bit higher than our calculator to about 0.8 points. But it's within tolerance because the engine and brakes weren't that accurate compared to the calculator, and there's some difference in points. That's why I showed up with a bit higher. And for this race, because we're going to choose a 2 pit stop or so, we're going to reduce the CTR a bit. And when we look at the car weight compensation, it's about the flat. And we might consider reducing the compensation a bit more in the future, because currently we are using 1 pit stop, and with a 2 pit stop we can see the compensation a bit better, and the calculator too was about the same as the actual race tire wear. For the race we are going to do is normal for overtaking, and it's a bit car performance dependent. If we look at the calculator tool, we can see that it suits a 3 pit stop strategy, and we saw that the race we recently done, 2 or 3 pit stops worked quite well, so we're going to choose a 3 pit stop, potentially because we're at the front of the grid. We're not losing much time in overtaking anymore compared to being at the very back of the grid. You can see we use 59 CTR, and if we want to reduce the weight by 1 point, we know it's 54, and we're doing 3 pit stop compared to 1, so the car weight will be reduced by 1 point. We can downgrade a lot of car parts for this race. We can downgrade most of the parts except for 3 other parts, but the weight is 90% anyways for those, and we still have to replace the engine for next race. So if we upgrade parts prematurely, we might have to spend a bit too much money because the engine is already 15 million. You can see we're at Yogam right now, and it's mostly handling dependent, and the last 2 races are not much to do with handling. So we're going to upgrade the front wing too instead of downgrading it to save money. And all of the other parts doesn't really matter much because it's not power anyways, and we said the last few races is not much car performance dependent, so you can save up on the money. So instead of downgrading the chassis, we're going to upgrade the front wing and the chassis to make sure we do a bit better in this and next race. And we still have some breathing room for the amount of money we have, so we want to upgrade the car a bit now to do better in these 2 races, and we can continue saving the money. Otherwise, for the next race or the race after, there's not really much to do because there's no car performance dependency on the last 2 tracks. When we check on our race earnings, we get about 12 million per race. Instead of upgrading 2 different parts, we're going to upgrade only the chassis to save a bit of money. Surprisingly, after the car update, we didn't get much extra points and the handling stayed the same. We copied the car wear into our calculator tool, and we used the extra soft tires. We have too much tire wear, so we should use the soft tires instead, because we really need to be able to do 50 laps at the end to have 2 more laps than the total. And if the temperature is a bit high, which we assume right now, so we put 16 for the first 2 half of the race, then it's not enough tire wear. You can see the first 2 is going to be a bit hot, and at the end it's going to be about 1 or 2 degrees lower, but that wouldn't improve the tire wear much. If we enter level 8 for the suspension, that would improve the tire wear a bit, but still doesn't feel confident to make it to the end with the extra soft. We know 14 laps is center for the 2 pit stop, and we can add about 2 laps or reduce 2 laps from this without much performance impact. And we can add 3 laps for the start stint, so we lose less time being stuck trying to overtake. When we enter these values, our tire wear looks quite good. We then enter the fuel required. We're going to find the setup. We're going to find the wing split. We minus 240 for lap 7, and for lap 8 we plus 120 compared to lap 6. And we can see that we had the same lap time with half the amount of change in wing split. So I know it's a bit towards the negative, which is the lap 7. So I can do the center, which we minus by 30, and we get minus 23 for the wing split. You can see our qualifying time is okay. We entered Q2 setup and we entered the fuel required. I entered the race fuel and I entered the race setup. You can see our qualifying time is a bit quicker than our teammates in the rookie group. And we can see that we gained 40% of the points scored for this season in our team. You can see that we qualified about midway out of all managers, which is about what we expect.